So, what we usually do for people that are fairly new, or if you have questions, no sense in being in a lesson and you have no idea what we're talking about. So, in a nutshell, uh, we'll explain what this is. Okay? According to the scriptures, we teach that Yeshua is the Savior. Yeshua is whom this world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. All right? The other thing we teach on top of that is that through Christ's sacrifice, it gives us an opportunity to come back to the Father, which is similar to what you would see in your Christian churches. All right? And that the Father is the way, but he used Christ to show us the physical way to operate in the earth to be accepted with the Father. Okay? And you can't jump over Christ to get directly to the Father. All right? And we can prove that. Christ was written of in the Old Testament, all through the Old Testament. All right? But we don't teach the paganism, ritualistic teachings that are in your regular churches. Like the pagan worships really is the worship of demonic forces and the earth itself. But they masked that through Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church hijacked Christ's name and infiltrated Christianity and brought forth paganism. Paganism is the worship of fallen angels and deities and different gods that the populace have no idea what they're worshiping. The Roman Catholic Church is set up under Satan himself, with the Pope at the helm, which is called the Pontius Father, he's actually a man of demon possession. And the spirit leads from one pope to the next. And that's the spirit of Antichrist in the earth. All right? We're here this day where we're in the time of what you would call the spring equinox, in which the pagans worship what you would call the sun, S-U-N, the beginning of the sun, for the goddess Mother Esther. Tomorrow would be so-called Easter, in reverence of this goddess who came down on the river Euphrates, as they claim in Babylonian folklore, and hatched on the river Euphrates. She's the woman in ancient Babylon that had Nimrod. Nimrod was born December 25th. He's the one being worshipped every December 25th. And the night before Christmas is Eve's night, which is Easter, the eve of her having her son, Nimrod. Nimrod built a tower in Genesis the 11th chapter in an effort as a hunter to fight against the Most High. He had the technology to deal with the spiritual realm, and that technology went from ancient Babylon into Egypt. And under the Anunnaki, they tried to do the same thing on the spiritual plane until the Most High destroyed them. We are the people who became a nation within Egypt. We were called the Hyksos before we were a nation of people. We walked into Egypt 70 souls. We came out a nation of millions. Pharaoh got mad because now the God that we were worshiping eventually destroyed and took down his empire. He got angry. His firstborn was killed. We put the blood on our doors for protection during what we would call the Passover time, where the death angel passed over our people and utterly crushed the Egyptians. Once that happened, the Most High God parted the Red Sea with Pharaoh on one side and the Red Sea on the other. We were being watched day and night by what you would call today UFOs, or what the scriptures call chariots, or wheel in a wheel. It was a cloud by day we had to follow, and it was fire by night. And it showed us the path to the land of Canaan, which became Israel. Okay? That's our path. Once we were in Israel, no nation could fight against us because we went out with what you would call the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant had the power of the Most High, and no nation could fight or destroy us as long as we were protected by the Most High. He would come down and protect us regularly. All right? Until we started following other gods. Our God wasn't good enough. His name is Ahia, which is I am that I am. Our God was not good enough. All right? So because our God wasn't good enough, and we like spoiled children, started following other gods.
Just make sure you listen to this video. You know what I'm saying? He's explaining all of it. It's all true, bro. All truth. And they don't teach you this in Christianity, even though it's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Of the nations the Most High warned us against, knowing that once we start following these gods of the Gentiles, it would allow these Gentiles to one day rule over us. So what happened? We followed the gods. The Most High said in Deuteronomy 32 and 21, if you're going to put a no God for me, I'm going to put up a no people for you. So now other people are in charge of us all over the earth. And we're being oppressed until this time now. The time we're in now, based on what we taught last night, is Jacob's trouble, where the Most High is bringing again the captivity of his people, and he's freeing us from our slave mentality. And through that, we will rule again on this earth, but not until after a serious war, the war that we're in now. There's a war on three separate fronts. The first front is principalities and powers and demons, the spiritual plane. So our prayer must be to our God to win this war in the name of Yeshua. We're fighting on what you would call a physical front with the wars you see today in Libya, Egypt, the wars that soon will be in Lebanon, the wars in Syria, the wars in Pakistan, the wars in Iraq that will culminate into the war against Iran. All right? And we're fighting on a nation front in which the whole world and the elite powers are aimed towards destroying us and totally exterminating us off of the earth before the second coming of Christ. But of course that will not happen. A small remnant of us will make it through, and we will rule in this earth. And then there will be peace. But not until all the things I've just mentioned. Now, I gave it to you in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I'll be open for questions for the first couple of minutes, and then we will go into a lesson. Anyone? And tomorrow's not Easter either. Anyone? No? I must have wrapped it up pretty good, huh? Okay. Huh? Absolutely. Yes. I mentioned the Anunnaki. Sure, I can elaborate. See, that's a good question. I mentioned the Anunnaki. Usually brothers and sisters that run into what you would call the Egyptology type of thinking, and they talk about the sons of Anak, or the sons of the Anunnaki, which are actually in the earth today. But really, they don't tell people who the Anunnaki are in the earth. They'll tell you that they were great beings with serious technology that helped mankind. But that's complex because, yes, they did help mankind. But they helped mankind with demon and angel technology. Okay? Now, the reason the other nations needed Anunnaki is the war against us. We had a God that was all power. And you have to realize, when the Most High set up the Levites, he had what you would call oracles, which means Levites, like for instance, just say if, like you see this table here, you got different cloths, right? Different shades. You had the tribes in different places all over the earth. I mean, all over Israel. Then you had a small part of each tribe, like these squares, that would be the priest for each nation. Now, if Loya as a Levite was in one area, such as the land of Simeon, and I was in the land of Benjamin, I could communicate with him through an org. You understand? So that was technology. We didn't have to plug it in like we have on the computers today, where you plug in and have to deal with all these things. I could communicate with him, and the scriptures call it oracles or orbs, in which we could communicate with each other all over the earth. There was no such thing as computers. So we had real-time technology directly from the Most High. The other nations didn't have that. So they needed physical technology. So the sons of Anak was able to give our rivals technology that would rival our technology. But our technology was spiritual and what this world would call eco-safe. You understand? We didn't have to take anything out of the earth and destroy the earth to deal with that type of power. Let me show you something here. Let's go to Numbers, the 13th chapter. So when you hear about the Anunnaki in Egyptology, these are the guys you're hearing about. Let's go to Numbers 13. Let's read the 33rd verse.
Numbers chapter 13, verse 33.
Start at 32.
Verse 32.
Go ahead.
And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature.
So what you had before Joshua and Caleb went into the land of Canaan, which became Israel, you had the sons of Anak, or the Anunnaki, or giants in the land of tall stature. You understand that they were consuming mankind, which was sacrifice, eating people, doing all these things in that particular land. That was the evil report that came back to Caleb and Joshua. Read.
Verse 33. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak.
The sons of who?
The sons of Anak.
That's the first place you see Anak, or the Anunnakis. The sons of Anak. Anak was a Nephilim, which was a son of a fallen angel. So Anak received his technology from his father, which were fallen angels. It tells you in Genesis 6th chapter that the sons of God saw the daughters of women, daughters of men, that they were fair, and came down and dealt with these women and bare giants. They were giants, or Nephilim, in the earth. Anak is a remnant from those angels. Read.
Verse 33. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight.
Let's go to Joshua, the 15th chapter, and the 14th verse. Joshua 15 and 14. And let's start at the 12th verse.
Joshua chapter 15, verse 12. And the west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah round about, according to their families. And unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh, he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of the Most High to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. And Caleb drove thence 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak.
So we warred against these giants when we came into the land of Canaan, which we know is Israel today. Now, when we drove these sons of Anak out, eventually some of them escaped. And a remnant of these came out of what you would call Gath, near Gaza, like Goliath, who warred against David. These are all giants. So they realized through time their stature would give them away. So what they did was they went into caverns of Gath, underground cities right outside of Israel. And they linked with mankind and came up with technology through time dealing with women and all different types of science to lower their stature so that they can actually operate amongst mankind. They also came up with what you would call plastic surgery, so that when they come out looking deformed and whatnot, they can actually do certain types of plastic surgery so that they can look similar to us. But these are they that are controlling your elite, like your queens of England, your Barack Obamas, and the powers of the Red Brotherhood that are ruling the earth. It's them right over the people till this day. These are the Anunnaki that's in the earth. Or some people call them reptilians or different types of shapeshifters. Yeah. So when it comes to science tried to, what you would call, cover this history by saying that, these inordinate skulls and bodies come from the Neanderthal 100 million years ago. So that if you run into one of these big bones or these inordinate sized skulls, you would just write it off as, a part of evolution. When really, it's the fathers of the Anunnaki and the fathers of the children of Anak. All right? They're the people, they're the spirits and powers that gave Egypt their technology. But of course, we know how that went. The Most High utterly destroyed the Egyptians and made that fertile land a desert. Our God did that, by the way. Any more questions? Shabbat shalom, brother. Okay. Okay. Absolutely. That's a good question. Of course, the Most High says, no man know the day or the hour. All right? But he says we can't be ignorant of his coming. We must watch as well as pray. Matthew, the 24th chapter, gave us a detailed understanding on what to look for to know that he'll be coming. It's not a coincidence that we're living in a time where you have earthquakes every place, almost every day, as if earthquake is a regular phenomenon in the earth. It's not a coincidence at the same time these earthquakes are happening, we are hearing through science, which is total garbage, by the way. Science is a faction of Satanism. We're hearing through science now that there's a planet that's entering our galaxy. They call it Planet X or Planet Nibiru. So these things are not coincidences that something is happening out in space that culminates into what you would call an apex between the Earth and something coming out of space. And it's not Planet X. It's not Planet Nibiru. Okay, that light that they claim, that everlasting light that's in the universe, that's operating since the beginning of what they call the Big Bang, is now illuminating more outside of this earth. And so they claim that something is coming. All right? Now, I'm not saying that that light they're saying in science is Christ himself that's coming. I'm not saying that they're trying to parallel planet X to Christ. What I'm saying is they know something is out there. But they can't tell the people it's Christ, because if they tell you that Christ will be coming, or Yeshua, whom someone called Yeshua, his name is Yeshaya though, in a different dialect. They can't tell you that Christ will be coming from the sky. Because if they do that, then you'll believe the Bible. If you start believing in the Bible, then you'll start following the ways of the Bible. And that will allow you to have power over the principalities and powers that are controlling the earth. They will not be able to touch you at that point. So they can't tell you that you must believe in something coming out of the sky. So they'll try to just floss it over with science. But what's coming out of the sky is our brother. He's coming. All right? And it's not planet X or planet Nubaru. Hold that and get Acts 1 and 9. Acts 1 and 7. Okay, Acts 1 and 9, right there. Okay. Let's start at the 7th verse. All right? Acts 1 and 7. And let's get Revelation. Let's get Revelation. And we're going to start at the first verse in Revelation, based on the brother's question. Yeah. And let's start at Acts. Acts 1 and 7. This is Yeshaya word.
Acts chapter 1, verse 7. And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the time or the season which the Father hath put in his own power.
Read that again.
And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the time or the season which the Father hath put in his own power.
The Father hath put in his own power, which means Yeshaya, Christ himself, don't know the day or the hour in which the Father will tap him and say, okay, son, go now. So you have these procrastinators out there speaking that, okay, Christ's going to be here at this date, May 15, 2013. All that is straight, it's nonsense. Yeshaya said himself that this power is only given to the Father, proven to you, again, for those who thought Christ was God, Christ is not the Most High. That's some madness that's coming out of the Christian church that makes no sense. Who was Christ praying to in the Garden of Gethsemane? When Christ was baptized and the Father looked down and said, this is my Son in whom I'm well pleased, was that Christ coming from the heavens looking down on himself? See, and these are the things that are making people unbelievers in the Christian church, because it makes no sense. They tell you something that you're not reading yourself. Read that part again.
Acts chapter 1, verse 7. And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea, and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
That cloud links to Psalms 104 and 3, when it says the Most High clouds are the covering, and it also breaks down the clouds are the chariots of the Most High. So this is not talking about the clouds you look out in the sky. They're just a covering for what you would call UFOs. They're real. And this is what took Christ out of the sight of man. Let me show a precept to prove that. Hold that and get Psalms 104 and 3. Read that.
Psalm chapter 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
Who do what? That walketh upon the wings of the wind. Anything that walks upon the wings of a wind is a flying object. And it says, who maketh the clouds his what?
Who maketh the clouds his chariot.
Chariots is what someone or some being rides in or ride on. When you see clouds in certain areas, it's talking about what this world called unidentified flying objects. And it says, a cloud received Christ out of their sight. And in old time, when we were established in Israel, the Most High used to send a chariot down on the tabernacle. Read. Back in Acts.
Acts chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel.
These were angels. Go ahead.
Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye up gazing up into heaven? This same Yeshua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So he's coming back the same way you've seen him taken. So that proves they know something is coming from space. They know something is coming from.
Have to intervene, but yeah, that's where you get your alien invasion stuff from. That whole alien invasion, aliens are just fallen angels and Nephilim / demons, right? So it's a lie. Because the governments, they work with aliens. Religions worship aliens. And they're not even aliens. They're just fallen angels, right? So when they're talking about we got like Independence Day, aliens are coming down, that's a lie. That's a deception. They'll have you fight against Christ, essentially, right? That's all it really is. You're fighting against Christ. You're thinking it's aliens when it's actually Christ. And yes, he's talking about actual UFOs in the Bible. Yes, so.
Space. Let's go to Revelations 1 and 1.
I guess I gotta make this stipulation as well. The material, like the metal crafts, that's Satan's chariots, the governments. Because they sacrifice children and all that to get knowledge and power and do drugs and shit. So, the actual crafts, like the ship, like actual metal, like material from this plane, physical material, that's the government, the Satan's crafts, Satan chariots or whatever. The more spiritual, like orbs, that's the Most High's. So, God's chariots.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which the Most High gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of the Most High, and of the testimony of Yeshua, and of all the things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. John, to the 7 churches in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace, from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne.
When it says Asia, it's talking about Asia Minor. So you had churches that were set up in Asia Minor. Asia Minor is Europe. Read.
Verse 5. And from Yeshua Christ, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us, and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and have made us kings and priests unto the Most High, and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Behold, he cometh with the clouds.
He coming with what?
Behold, he cometh with the clouds.
So that means he's coming with many clouds. So not just the clouds that he was taken up in. It's going to be many clouds in a formation towards this earth. War, which the Bible...
Many clouds. So people are going to think it's an alien invasion. Many UFOs coming down. Alien invasion. But that's actually Christ. You gotta look at the deception here. Like, Bible tells you it's Satan's world. Satan deceived the whole world. You know what I'm saying? The Bible tells you that. But then, you can't follow the world, man. These religion and holidays, following the government, you can't do that. Government's satanic. The Bible tells you that. America's satanic. The Bible tells you that. The Bible also tells you, here's how you know. More precepts, right? All the Bible. The Bible tells you 90% will fall. And 10% will be the remnant. It's because those 90% are following the world, a.k.a. following Satan. And following the world is following religions, holidays, and government. That's how you get destroyed. The knowledge of this world is foolishness to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Then broad is the way to destruction, and the narrow straight path will lead to the kingdom, and few will find it. Broad means majority. So, just because the whole world, if the whole world accepts something or knows something, or everybody knows this, everybody does this, go the opposite way. Be that 10% remnant. Don't follow the world, because you're going to get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? That means no religion, no holidays, don't follow no government. That's all paganism and satanic. Alright? That's how you get destroyed. Follow the Bible. The Bible has nothing to do with no damn Christianity or Catholic or any denomination. They don't teach you Christ, they don't teach you the Bible in Christianity. There's no... I'm going to run through them. I'm going to try to run through them real quick. Alright, I'm going to try to run through them real fast. First of all, there's no cross, there's no holidays in the Bible, there's no cross attached to Christ. It's actually sin to cross, because that's idolatry. Idolatry is sin. Or pictures. Then Christ is actually dark skin with hair. The Bible tells you in the disciples and all that. It tells you in the Bible, Revelation 1:14-15, Daniel 6, Christ is dark skin with hair. So if they're relying on Christ, they're relying by everything else. Christ's name isn't Jesus. The letter J didn't exist back then. Then Jesus is Greek. Greeks are Romans. The Romans killed Christ, destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD, killed the disciples. Christ wasn't a Roman, right? He was a Hebrew. If he's an Israelite, he's a Hebrew, right? Christ is a Savior, and Savior in Hebrew, that's his name, Savior, in Hebrew is Yeshua. That's what they're saying, Yeshua. And here goes the, actually I'm going to go to this first. Exodus 3:13-14 with Moses, the Most High's real name, the Creator, the Father. I am in English, ancient Hebrew Venetian, right? Ahaya Shahai. And you got the Most High, the Creator, the Father, always existed. Ahaya Shahai. I am in English. Then you got his Son, the first begotten of the Father in heaven, his Son, Christ, Yeshua, the Savior. Then the Mother, Holy Spirit will walk, and that's the Godhead. The 1, 2, 3, 3 witnesses in heaven, 1, 2, 3, right? The Godhead, that's actually in the Bible. Holy Trinity, nowhere in the Bible. Then it goes into all the deceptions of religions or Christianity. Holy Trinity is nowhere in the Bible. Jewish ain't nowhere in the Bible. Virgin birth, that didn't happen. What else? No holidays are in the Bible. Christ isn't God, obviously. And what else did he say? I don't even know. Christ didn't come for the world. He came for his people. You can't sin on purpose. There's no free grace. That's satanic. ETC. You have to read the whole Bible. Not half. Something like the virgin birth. That happened the virgin birth is Babylonian. Like all the stuff they teach in Christianity, all Babylonian and Rome. Has nothing to do with the Bible. These holidays and like something like the virgin birth, that's in Babylon with Ramesses, with Nimrod as Tammuz. And that was before Mary and Christ was even born. There was a virgin birth in like Christmas, Easter. All that was there before Christ and Mary was even born. So it has nothing to do with them, right? That's history that people need to understand. False image of Christ, Caesar Borgia, look it up. Second son of the Pope of Rome, Alexander VI. Occasion to deceive the world according to the Bible. ETC, bro, I can keep going, but get back to this. He was talking about the chariots, UFOs in the Bible, and how the government, they make all these movies and all these alien movies to get you riled up. Like, oh, aliens might come one day to fight us, when the only thing coming out of the sky is Christ. When something comes out of the sky, UFOs, that's Christ. They ain't no fucking aliens, bro. And aliens don't exist anyways. They're fallen angels. They're not aliens. There is no aliens. It's fallen angels.
The Bible calls the battle of Armageddon. Read.
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him.
And even those who pierced him. Who pierced him? The Roman Empire. So the Romans, or the powers that rule this earth, are going to deal with the man they pierced. Read.
And all the kindreds of the earth shall well because of him.
So it's not going to be a good day for all the kindreds or families of the earth
Told you.
when Christ returns. He's not.
Told you. 90% will fall. Know why? Because they're pagans. They worship fallen angels and demons. You know. Then another precept to that, that's in the Bible. I'm not gonna act like I remember every verse, but I know what I know the verse is. I just forgot like what's the name, like if it's in Revelation or whatever. Well, there's another verse. When Christ returns, the armies of the world would be there to try to apprehend him and all that stuff. So again, the world is of Satan, man. Look at society. It normalizes sin and paganism, right? There's a systematic genocide through everything. Physically destroyed, mentally, spiritually, food, healthcare, education, all of its lies, and it's destroying you. So people gotta wake up here. Only truth is the Bible, King James Version. If they lie on Christ, they lie about King James too. Then the nail on the coffin, I guess, is one more thing. Acts 13:1-4, it tells you that the prophets and the disciples at Antioch was called Niger, black. So they're literally black. So they lie. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. It's just the people holding it is lying. They're not teaching you the Bible. They're lying. So that's the problem. So people gotta wake up. Alright? Christianity been pagan. Christianity has nothing to do with Christ at all. So, and again, these people are gathering 144 on YouTube. A gathering 144 on YouTube. They got the history, the facts, no opinions, no beliefs, no religion. It's just historical facts. Geographical, historical, archaeologically, all that shit. Right? Because the Bible is real history. It's not just a belief. It's real history, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's actual history. It's real life. Like, prophecies out of the Bible happen in real life. And it was prophesied like thousands of years beforehand. And it's happened or it has happened. Like, if you look at the record of the Bible and look at the events, like Deuteronomy 28:68, the slave ships into America to be sold to men, the Israelites, right? That was prophesied in the Bible. And ETC, Mark of the Beast and shit, FRID chip. Then that's one more thing I just forgot since I'm on Israelites. Jewish people are Romans from Esau, bro. They're not Israelites, they're not Jews. You can't convert to a religion to become a Jew. It's not through the mother, it's through the father. And not everybody can become an Israelite. That's not possible. Right? Precepts. When the true people are in the land, there will be no more war. So obviously they're not the people because there's war in the earth. Then when Christ returns, the true people shall not enter Jerusalem until Christ returns anyways. So obviously that's not happening. If there's still sin and wickedness and religion and holidays and shit, because Christ would be bound for 1,000 years and shit. So obviously that didn't happen yet. Christ didn't return yet. So those aren't the people. They don't fit the prophecies, descriptions, the looks. They don't even follow the Bible. Jewish people follow the Talmud and the damn Kabbalah, satanic Babylonian books. They do nothing of the Bible. All right, they're just using it. They're using it. They're proclaiming to be Israelites to gain all the benefits and stuff. They don't care about Christ. They kill Christ, and they control all these religions, by the way, and they're Satanists, the governments. True people are Israelites, the real Jews. Example, a verse, Deuteronomy 28:68. Slave ships in America to be sold to men because they broke the laws. Right? They sinned. That's what breaking laws is. 70 AD, Romans destroyed Jerusalem. We ran into Africa. We're not from Africa. We ran into Africa. Just because somebody's black doesn't mean they're from Africa. Israelites are from Shem. They are dark skinned, like I said. They ran into Africa. That's how they got there. Then yeah, there's 12 tribes. Abraham is from Shem, that's Middle East, because Ham got Africa and shit. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob's 12 sons, they go 12 out of Israel. Physical bloodline seed. Not everybody can become an Israelite, and it does matter. The Bible tells you it matters. Just like Christ's looks. They don't give you Christ's birthday, they give you his looks, because the looks matter more than his birthday, obviously. So, I give you some tribes. There's 12 tribes of Israel. I give you some of them. Black people, America, Judah, Mexicans, Issachar, Levi, the Haitian Dominicans. Oh yeah, Judah is the kings. The priest is Levi, which is the Haitian Dominicans. Goddamn, Jamaicans are Benjamin, warriors and shit. Nepali, Hawaiians, Gad, Native Americans. Some people in South America. Cubans, Venezuelans. Some people in the Philippines. It's mostly the poor people at the bottom. If you see people downtrodden, poor at the bottom, they're probably Israelites because they're cursed through breaking the laws and commandments and shit. They sin, they curse, and they're at the bottom. That's the bottom. So I named 6 tribes or something, 7, 8. So it's not just black and white. It's not just black people and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you see a white person, that's a Roman. They're Romans from Esau. They're Romans. There is no white and black, African, Jamaican. None of that shit exists in the Bible. Alright? So people gotta wake up here. That's why I said the educational system, all lies. They lied about it's Satan. He's the father of lies. Like Christ said he is. Murderers, father of lies. If Satan's controlling the earth, everything's a lie. So you gotta wake up. The Bible tells you have to be a newborn baby to come back to him and all that. You have to be relearned. So, people gotta wake up, man.
Coming back for what the churches are talking about. He's coming back for war.
Okay, so just in case y'all forgot, he's talking about the damn chariots, which are UFOs in the Bible. Then when Christ returns, they're gonna make you think it's an alien invasion and shit, but it's actually just Christ, so people can fight Christ. That's why they program us throughout the decades with these alien movies like Independence Day, so it can fight against what's coming out of the sky. The only thing coming out of the sky is Christ, and above is heaven. So don't believe that space and science and NASA stuff. That's all lies and satanic. So, and when Christ returns, there's no rapture. He's gonna come with a sword. He's gonna destroy all these top 1% who own everything that's been satanically programming people to be sinners and pagans and destroying Israelites, systematically genociding them. He's going to go after them and destroy them. It tells you in Genesis, I forgot what verse, Genesis 49, something like that. I forgot what verse, that it's going to look like Christ went through the wine press because he's going to destroy these Edomites, but these Jewish people that are at the top, right? He's going to destroy them. Vengeance is of the Lord, the Bible tells you that. So he's on that. So there is no aliens. That's a lie. Right? Aliens are fallen angels. And the fallen angels, we already know, if you read the Bible, you already know what happened with that. They're here on the earth controlling the world and shit. Through religions. The governments. So when Christ returns, it's going to look like UFOs and shit. So, yeah.
This time. And then after war, after he placed the whole earth and all powers under his feet, then there will be peace for 1,000 years, but not before the war. Read.
and all the kindreds of the earth shall well because of him. Even so, amen. I am Alpha and Omega.
That means the beginning and the end, which means in the beginning, the Father made the Son to create everything we see today. Okay, Christ, Yeshua, is on a whole nother level than his existence while he was in the earth. He had an existence before he came into Mary. His existence was an intercession between man and the Father, even in the Old Testament. So when you see Abraham that was protected and was sitting down speaking with someone, Moses who was speaking with someone, Daniel who was being dealt with prophecy, that was all Yeshua in the Old Covenant. In the Spirit, intercessing for the Father. Walking in the garden with Adam, that was all Yeshua. There was no need for the Father to leave the throne. From the beginning, he sent his Son. Okay? And because of our sin, he had to send him in the flesh to be sacrificed, because in the law, there was no redemption for Israel without a blood sacrifice. And through that blood, we have another opportunity to come back to the Father. Even before there was anything as Adam, before there was anything as earth, it was Yeshua in the beginning in the heavenly realm who created the heavenly realm. The tabernacles that's there, the angels, the ministering angels that was there, that was all Yeshua in the beginning doing the creation for his Father. Okay? That's why he says, I'm Alpha and Omega. He began it, and he's going to finish it. Once it's done, he's going to hand it back over to the Father, and then that's a whole nother level that ears have not heard, or eyes have not seen. Read.
Verse 8. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.
I need you to go down to the 13th verse.
Verse 13. And in the midst of 7 candlesticks.
The 7 candlesticks represent the 7 churches which were in Asia Minor. Go ahead.
One like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So now it's going into his physical description. His hair is white and woolly. All right? White is the color, like gray. Wool is the texture. Like this brother here, right here, that we're looking at right there. That's white, woolly hair. Okay? Read.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because it tell you in Genesis that his eyes shall be red with wine, and teeth white with milk. Genesis 49, 10 through 12. Read.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Read.
As if they burnt in a furnace.
If you burn anything in a furnace, what color does it come out? There you go. So that gets that Cesar Borgia image right out of the box. This poisoner they put up as Jesus Christ. This Roman with a Roman toga. And it does not fit the description of what we're reading here. Christ was not a Roman. Christ was a black man. And that's him coming out of the sky.
Yep,
Okay?
no aliens.
Not to say that all people cannot partake, because Israel
Christ.
has a speckled birth. We come in all colors. But Christ was not Caucasian. Christ was a black man. There's nothing wrong with someone if they are white. You can't help what you are. There's nothing wrong with you if you're black. This is how you were born. But it is a problem putting Christ up as a Caucasian. Now going back to the question, because I wanted to handle that also. Let's go to Matthew 24.
Why it's a problem? Because it's a lie on Christ. It's just a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's a lie, bro. If it didn't matter, why are they lying on Christ? Why are they lying?
And answer the brother's question directly. Matthew 24. Now the big thing we need to be looking at here, Everything else is smoke and mirrors, like I've mentioned before. The major focus that we should be looking at is Iran. Okay? Again, even before Iran happens, we're going to have almost minimal chance to be able to travel and to operate in the earth based on what they're doing with the money. All right? They're going to jack everything up. They're going to blame it on the gas and the petrol prices. So you're not going to be able to get around and just live a normal life regularly, let alone be able to move from one place to the next. So that's going to be an issue in itself. So the preparation that must be made now, while you still have some level of flexibility to turn your finances into some type of physical substance that will help you when your paper money means nothing. But answering the brother's question, like for instance, we have a scenario where people might be shelling money out for mortgages and car payments or all these different type of things. And my answer to that is, why are you putting your money in a dead hole where you could take the same money that's going nowhere and buy gold and some silver, and that stuff is going up, it's going up through the roof. So that's something that's making money that you can cash out at a certain time before they bring the mark of the beast on the scene. Not that gold or silver is going to save you, but you'll be better off taking your money buying something.
Mark of the Beast, FRID chip, or FRID chip, something like that. Some type of microchip that goes in your body. Some type of technology that goes in your body. Alright? That's Mark of the Beast. I know, so don't get that, or go read Revelation, see what happens when you get that. You know? There's no coming back from that stuff. You finished. No forgiveness.
That will have value that you can cash in at a...
And they will, at a certain point, they will enforce it, so you gotta take that death, bro, because you don't want that mark.
Time. And just putting your money into a hole and have the government come and say, well, okay, you can't live here anymore. Okay, we have to take that car from you. And that's just everyday living I'm speaking of right now. Let's go to Matthew 24 and read the first verse.
St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 1. And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yeshua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
He was mentioning the temple. The temple. Now the temple back then, you had what you would call the seeds of Amalek and Idumeans under Herod. How you doing? And Idumeans under Herod that infiltrated and took over the temple and started selling and bringing forth their monetary system within the temple. Christ went through the temple and tried to beat them out of the temple, saying that you've made the house of the Most High into a den of thieves. Okay, who did this? They're the family of the Jewish people we see today. Same people who infiltrated and became Pharisees. And scribes. Read.
Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And which shall be the sign of thy coming?
What shall be the sign of thy coming? Like the brother asked. Read.
And the end of the world.
And what?
And the end of the world.
And the end of the world. Now we know we're going to be here. This earth is going to be here. The world is going to be here. So the world it's speaking of is the Roman world. When will the Roman Empire be destroyed? Now the Roman Empire was never destroyed. Revelations tell you that the empire was wounded. So they had to morph themselves into a new type of empire under secret societies so that you cannot just address one area of people and root them out like we were able to do in ancient times. We were able to point to the Caesars and their empire and their agenda. Therefore, when we became generals in their army, eventually we were able to wound them and take them out. So they realized if they don't morph themselves into secret society, so if they don't work with this unseen hand, then they would have the threat of us taking them down again. So now they work behind corporations. They work behind banks. They work behind the scenes.
Jewish people are
Romans.
Romans.
On a physical person to take
And
down.
the top
That's how
1%
the
are
Roman Empire
Satanists.
operates. And they split it now. At one point, your religious institutes and your temples were one and the same with your government under the Roman Empire. They did their sacrifices and everything, all in the temple next to the waters. They were all connected. They separated religion, the religiosity of it, from the politics to make you think it's two separate factions that's working one and the same. So when Christ returns, he's going to kill and destroy all the religions, and he's going to kill and destroy all the politicians.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you got to root it out. They working together. They make you think it's two separate entities. But they are working in a balance with each other as prey, and they destroying the prey, which are the people. So Christ is coming back to take down all religion. There will be no such thing as a Buddhist.
And it's all satanic, bro. Like, it's all satanic. It's all paganism. All these religious holidays are following fallen angels and demons. The government, same thing with them. And it's all controlled by Jewish people. Esau, Romans, under Satan. The whole world. It's just a fact, believe it or not. It is what it is. So, and the politicians, like people like politicians, some of these celebrities, they compromise, they sell out, sell their soul for some money and fame or whatever the fuck. And they follow Satan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. Then there's an obvious agenda, systematic genocide against Israelites to systematic genocide, right? It tells you in the Bible, I think it's Psalms 83, the crafty counsel against Israel to have them erase from existence, their memory out of existence, and all that shit. It lists all the nations. It lists the Arabs, the Romans, China. It lists so many nations that are just against the real Israelites, the poor, the bottom, the black people and shit, right? The bottom. You know what I'm saying? The people at the bottom, bro, not these freaking governments. Satan controls all the damn governments. Christ, it's just done right here. Christ, when he was fasting 40 days and 40 nights, Satan came up to him and like he did all that. Then he showed them all. Satan showed Christ all nations, all of them. He would give him that if you follow him and all that stuff. So control all the nations, man. So the whole world.
No such thing as a Christian. As prey, and they destroying the prey, which are the people. Think it's two separate entities, but they are working in a balance with each other. As prey, and they destroying the prey, which are the people. So Christ is coming back to take down all religion. There will be no such thing as a Buddhist, no such thing as a Christian. No such thing as a Muslim or a Hindu. None of these things will exist. There will be no New Age movement. There will be no Pope. There will be no Queen of England. So he's going to take down the politicians and religion. Read.
St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
That many is Christians.
Yep.
Why? Because they're bringing forth all the different ideologies of Satanism
Only people coming in Christ's name are Christians, bruh. Catholics.
through Christianity, using Christ's name. The New Age movement have now infiltrated Christianity now. All Christians are teaching New Age now. Even before that, the prosperity movement, the get money movement, even before that. Every movement that Satan wants to bring, he bring it through the Christian church. He introduced his new plans through the Christian church regularly. That many is Christian that's coming in Christ's name. Read.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You know that Christ was speaking of this time. Back then, there was no radio, there was no TV, there was no internet for the whole earth to hear all these things happening in the earth at one time. So the Lord was speaking of this time. You will be hearing of one war, and then you hear a rumor of another war. Here it is, you in a war with Iraq, and you already talked about a war with Afghanistan. Now you're dealing with wars in Egypt and Tunisia and Libya.
And by the way, all these wars and all this stuff like wars, 9/11, whatever the hell, it's all the government, it's all pre-planned. It's not by chance, it's not random. It's all a satanic, everything's a lie, bro. $20 bill before 9/11 even happened, Twin Towers burning. All the government, etc. There's all kinds of things they do that you think it's a random tragedy. Katrina, all of that type of stuff, all the government. So people gotta really wake up. If it's Satan's world, it's Satan's. We're talking about Satan here, bro. Satan, right? So people gotta wake up, bro. I'm telling you, people gotta wake up.
Pakistan. So every day, it wouldn't surprise anyone if our world,
Media, news, all eyes, all of it.
which is the Roman government, is in another war. That's a sign of Christ.
There's always a lie. There's always a demonization of Israelites. There was always an agenda. There's always a promoting of sin and paganism, which is religions and like obviously sin, breaking the laws. There's always something. It's never truth. It's literally never truth. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? There's always something behind it. It's never truth. Mainstream media, news, there's always something. And they'll use tragedies and people's death that they made. Like, they use that shit, implement new laws and policies against Israelites and stuff like that. They'll use people's deaths, bro. They will. So.
Coming. These are signs. All right. It wouldn't surprise you if you went home today and you see the talking heads on TV telling you that Britain or America is about to go into another war. It wouldn't surprise anyone. But yet they'll tell you that there's not enough money so that you can have a recreation center for swings or some type of place in which children can play, or a recreation center where after school programs and things that'll help the community. They'll tell you, listen, we're broke, but you can spend $5 million a day or 5 million pounds a day in a war. All right? These are the signs that are coming. Read.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Read.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
So when these things happen, the Lord told us, well, the Most High, through his son Yeshua, told us not to be troubled. These things are not to trouble us.
Talking about some free Palestine and all this other garbage. That's Bible prophecy, bro. We need to... We're being destroyed in America. I don't know why we're worried about other countries for. You know why? America's an extension of Rome. That's why.
Read.
That's propaganda too, because that money ain't going no damn God. That money people be donating, that they always lie about that. That all that money people be donating for any type of cause, it's going straight to the government for some type of satanic plan. It will never go to what they're saying it will go to. So.
But the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Something else must happen. Read.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
That's nationality against nationality. Some people think a nation is a country. No. Because within a country, you have many nationalities. So it's not speaking of one country fighting another country here. This is talking about race against race. A perfect example of that, we were speaking out of the speaking one time, and we were just telling the truth about what some of the what you would call the Muslim powers that are in the...
Then your race isn't determined based on where you're born at. You know what I'm saying? That's garbage. I can be born in the middle of the ocean, then what am I supposed to be then? It's through genetics, through seed. So that's another lie. They just lie on us, talking about we're some African Americans and shit. Black people in America they're from Shem and they're Israelites. White people are just Romans from Esau. Arabs are from Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and the mother was an Egyptian. Shit like that, right? Chinese or Asians are Japheth. Like, that's what they are. Africans, like actual Africans, they're Hamites. They're from Ham. So,
how they claim they're dealing with Islam, but they'll come into a neighborhood and sell pork. We were bringing that out, like what you would call the Muslim powers that are in the earth. How they claim they're dealing with Islam, but they'll come into a neighborhood and sell pork. We were bringing that out. Like, hold up, how can you say, same people you're trying to convert into your God, and you'll sit in the same area and sell them pork and all these different types of things? Now, we was just stating truth.
and one more thing. There is no race mixing. You are who your father is. If your father is an Israelite, black man, doesn't matter who the mother is. She can be a white Roman. It's going to be an Israelite kid, right? So, there's that. And that's why they implemented that damn, when they quote-unquote abolished slavery, which they didn't. They really didn't. They have, I forgot what it was called, the court system. I don't know. You couldn't just get married. Like marriage in the Bible is just intercourse. You can just get married now. Now you have to, like, go through the government or law and all that. I forgot what it was called, but yeah. Because too many white women was getting it with Israelites, and that's making more Israelites. They're trying to systematically genocide us. They don't want more Israelites, so you have to go through the government and stuff. So you are who your father is. So there's no mixing. It's never through the mother. So it's always through the father.
Right? You are a
seed.
Muslim. That's like me setting up a shop someplace, and I got nothing but pork all up in there, selling it to the people, knowing that it's wrong according to Leviticus 11 chapter. And through that, they felt that something was wrong with us. Next thing you know, all these Arabs come up while we were speaking and surround us, and I'm looking at them like, listen, this ain't this type of thing. You're not going to scare no one here. All right? So they come up in the area and come around to try to use numbers and say, well, it seems like you're trying to separate. Listen, brother, we're not trying to separate. When we were put on boats and was taken into captivity, we were separated. I'm just telling you what's affecting our people.
Yep, truth. They'll try to tell you you're trying to divide and separate. It's just truth, bro. Truth is truth. Christ is the truth. If you deny truth, you deny Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just true how these religions are just pagan and satanic. It's just true, bro. Before Islam, Muhammad was born like 600 years after Christ. And before that was Persian mythology. And before Persian mythology, it was Babylon, Tower of Babel. Most High destroyed that place. It was ran by Nimrod, Semiramis, and damn Satan. Tower of Babel. They were trying to go up in the heavens to fight the Most High. So that's where Islam came from. And that's where all the other religions come from too. So people don't have the history. They're ignorant, bro.
We didn't separate. Y'all separated us. We were in Israel. So what I'm saying is, you can't come into my neighborhood taking what belongs to us and destroying us and not have some level of accountability. What am I saying is wrong? If you want to be right with me, brother, you go back and tell the people that own these stores not to sell our people pork. You understand? So the nation against nation is culminating or actually brewing on the fact that the children of Israel is waking up.
In this spiritual, there's spiritual warfare as well. Like, if you're in the truth, following the Christ and all that, like it's hard to explain, but if you have people like Arabs come in or Asians come in with Buddha, that's spiritual warfare. They're bringing a god with them, right? They're bringing Buddha and Allah and all that, which are fallen angels and demons. So it's just spiritual warfare, you know what I'm saying? They bring their idols and stuff. The Bible tells you the Lord is great. The Lord is great and greatly to be praised. And the gods of the nation are idols. There's an idol attached to every religion, right? But the Lord made that happen. So, and it's in the law of the commandments. Idolatry, idols, is sin. So there's no idol attached to Christ the Most High. Oh, zero. Disciples didn't have no crosses. So it's just spiritual warfare when you have all these people and all these religions around you and shit, right? So it's like it's a spiritual realm wars and shit. So
we're waking up now, and we're speaking out now. And now the other nations are starting to rumble and saying, well, hold up, these people, they're starting to wake up. This is what's going on.
That's why America's like a melting pot, and they allow immigrants and all that. They want these people around you because they're following angels and demons, right? It's easily, you can be influenced spirit or whatever the hell, right? Especially if you're ignorant. Like, it's spiritual warfare and shit. Like, if you're not following the law of the commandments, there's no protection, so you're viable to these other gods or demons or whatever. So it's spiritual warfare, bro. People don't know what that is, bro. They don't.
That's brewing this thing within the earth.
Then the damn health system, it opens you up, bro. When you take all those damn drugs and shit, that shit don't help either, bro. Weed and healthcare and pharmaceuticals and all that just destroys your opens you up for demons and shit.
So we're not troubled with it, but I use that example as anytime a people try to stand, no matter who you are, you're going to have one race on one side and another race on the other. That's just natural. People flock to what they're used to. And when it comes to a posture of fighting, people choose their own. You go back and tell the people that own these stores not to sell our people pork.
We go back all the way.
While we were speaking and surrounded us, and I'm looking at them like, we were bringing that out. Like, hold up, how can you say same people you're trying to convert into your God, and you'll sit in the same area and sell them pork and all these different types of things? Now, we were just stating truth, right? You are a Muslim. That's like me setting up a shop someplace, and I got nothing but pork all up in there selling it to the people, knowing that it's wrong according to Leviticus 11 chapter. And through that, they felt that something was wrong with us. Next thing you know, all these Arabs come up while we were speaking and surround us, and I'm looking at them like, listen, this ain't this type of thing. You're not going to scare no one here, all right? So they come up in an area and come around to try to use numbers and say, well, it seems like you're trying to separate. Listen, brother, we're not trying to separate. When we were put on boats and was taken into captivity, we were separated. I'm just telling you what's affecting our people. We didn't separate. Y'all separated us. We were in Israel. So what I'm saying is, you can't come into my neighborhood, taking what belongs to us and destroying us, and not have some level of accountability. What am I saying is wrong? If you want to be right with me, brother, you go back and tell the people that own these stores not to sell our people pork. You understand? So the nation against nation is culminating, or actually brewing, on the fact that the children of Israel is waking up.
The other nations was the Gentiles, the other nations, right? Gentiles is every other nation except Israelites, or Gentiles are heathens, right? Because they're pagans. They worship fallen angels over their creator. It was in the Bible too, by the way, how they used to sell us all this stuff. And the prophets was like, bro, you gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? You can't be selling us on the Sabbath and all this. So Bible tells you there's nothing new under the sun, right? They're
waking
doing
up
this.
now.
They're doing this all the way back in the day in the Bible, bro. Same shit.
And we're speaking out now. And now the other nations are starting to rumble and saying, well, hold up, these people, they're starting to wake up. This is what's going on that's brewing this thing within the earth. So we're not troubled with it. But I use that example as anytime a people try to stand, no matter who you are, you're going to have one race on one side and another race on the other. That's just natural. People flock to what they're used to. And when it comes to a posture of fighting, people choose their own. That's the time we're in. When Jeremiah the 50th chapter says that people are going to start making their way back to their own people. They're going to start going back to their own country. That's what's going down in the earth today. People are cashing in their stores. People are cashing in. They're starting to go right back to their own country. Why? We're dealing with the impending battle where you have to stick around the people you can trust. This is what Christ is speaking of here. Nation against nation, signs of the end. Read.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Now that's a country against a country. One kingdom against another kingdom. Read.
And there shall be famine, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
That's what we're seeing now. We're coming into a famine. If this was ancient times, in Egypt's time, and you start seeing things like fish beaching themselves by the millions on the shore, and there'd be a stink from all the fish, you will look at it and say, man, this is a plague. That's our food right there. You understand? So we're going into a famine. This is what this is. We're going into a famine. We're dealing with a similar plague as we did in Egypt, but on a global scale. Now, a lot of these fishes are just, of course, it's residual effects from the heart system they're using. And on top of the heart system, the fact that they just poisoned the waters with the Gulf spill. So now we're seeing the residual effects of fish that are filled with benzene and all types of toxins that cause cancer that can kill you. And what the elite in power is going to do? Oh, okay. They're not going to burn the fish. They're going to take the same fish and put it into the food pool.
Yep.
They're like, okay, let's speed this thing up. We got poison right here. And the Most High says we're not supposed to eat anything that died of itself. It's already poisoned because it died of itself. So these things going to beach up, and these fishermen, they want to make their money by the pound. They don't care if it's living or dead. And they're going to put it in the food pool. That's going to kill more people. But then the Lord tell you a third of the sea in Revelation will die off. So you got the rich hoarding all the good food for themselves in their little protective little bunkers. And the poison food will be for the masses.
Yep.
That's us.
Yep.
Read.
Verse 8.
Yep, us. They call us, the Jewish people call us goyim. That's cattle. We're nothing but slaves. That's what they think. They're Satanists. They're Romans, bro. That's what they think, bro. Every non-Roman, goyim. Slaves. Good for nothing, just cattle. That's what they think, bro. That's what they say. That's what they say, bro. They say that.
All these are the beginning of...
They just say it in a language you can't understand. That Yiddish fucking Hebrew, which is wrong. It's not Yiddish. It's Phoenician Hebrew. That's the original, not Yiddish. You know.
sorrows.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. Whose sorrows? Our sorrows. Because Jeremiah 30 tells us this is Jacob's trouble. The rich is not crying about this. These are our sorrows.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly why when Christ returns, he's going to destroy them. By the way, blood on his garments and all that, like the Bible says, it looks like Christ went through the wine press. That's what they're going to say when they see him. Vengeance is of the Lord.
Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
Here's the next step. Terrorist watch. You might have a home.
That's why they mostly use And Arabs and 9/11 was a test drive to just blame them even though they didn't do nothing. It's going to be the same thing for Israelites. They're going to blame the black people, the poor, when we didn't do shit. Of what they're going to do. That's the power of media. Look at the movie Superman 2025. Everybody loved him. He just saved the day. They look on their phones, demonized on the internet. Everybody hates them. Instant, like they're sheep, like they're bots. Just instantaneously, everybody hates them. They're just praising them. They look on their phones, hate them. That's a program. That's media. So they're just gonna keep demonizing black people, Israelites. They're gonna keep doing it. So when they murder us, blatantly murdering us, hey, people won't care. It was better without them anyways. Hey, people won't even care, bro. I'm telling you.
Home terrorist living right next door. And you got the person next door that don't like you playing your music loud, calling saying, I think I got a terrorist next door. Homeland Security. Then they shall give you up. Your own people now. Or, let's not deal with the next door neighbor. Let's just deal with the person that lives in your house that don't like the fact that now you're dealing with this new God and you must be in a cult. Because you don't want to eat the pig and the festations that you've been eating since birth, and you realize if you want to read the Bible and actually follow the Bible, then I think we have a terrorist, a religious extremist in our house.
That's what happens too. The Bible tells you the truth divides families and shit, bro. It divides people, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you're in the truth in this Bible, it's you versus the world, bro. That's so. If you're at work or with your family, you gotta be very careful. Like, everybody else, you can just tell them the truth. But if at work, your family, you gotta you gotta do it small increments, bro. Like, they gotta ask you, you don't tell them or something. Because you don't wanna have a war against your damn family and your coworkers, bro. That's not good, bro. So, I would just like, they'll see you change and let them ask the questions and you answer them. Don't tell them nothing because you already know how that's gonna go. Like, I'm telling you, bro, people gotta wake up here, man. Like, Bible calls America the habitation of devils, man. You can't just be telling people the truth nowadays if you're gonna see them every day and shit. Because now you're gonna have an enemy just because you believe in the Bible. You have a whole ass enemy now. You know what I'm saying? That's the world.
Now this is the way they go now. Or because you're not doing the things the way they're used to you doing them, and you're unorthodox, you must be different. Something must be wrong. You don't go to church anymore? I think we have a terrorist. Now they're going to start giving you up. Now, your own people now. Making anonymous phone calls. What do you do again? How do we get around again? What's going on? This guy's a terrorist. Yeah, I think we have one. This is how they're going to do it. Your own family. They're going to start giving you up. Read.
Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
So if you are a real follower,
Bible tells you. Christ said it. If the world hated you, no, they hated me first, bro. Is the servant better than his master? Because Christ is the master, right? The Bible says there's only two masters. Christ or Satan. The Most High Christ in the Bible or Satan, right? So if you're following Christ, he's the master. So is the master better than the servant? Nope. So whatever happened to Christ, you can expect that shit to happen to you. It's just a reality. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you better expect it. You know what I'm saying? Because this truth is powerful, bro. This is the Most High. This is you. People don't understand, bro. They don't understand, bro. The shit we know now, the prophets back in the day. This information, people don't get it, bro. This information is godly information, right? Like back in the day, you say this in certain places, you killed, and all that shit, bro. Like, I'm telling you.
Christ, you're going to be hated because you're doing the work of Christ.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
So if you are a real follower of Christ, you're going to be hated because you're doing the work of Christ. Period. All nations are going to hate you. Why? Because if you're saying that you're sure.
Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? That's why. You tell them the truth and they hate you. Because they want to do what thou wilt. They want to follow God in their own way. That's where they fuck up. You can't follow God in your own way. You have to follow what He said to follow in the damn Bible, bruh. You know what I'm saying? People want to follow the world. They want to follow everybody else. Well, everybody else, it's like Christmas. Well, everybody follows Christmas. So if that's bad, that means everybody's going to hell. It's like, I will tell you, 90% will fall. See, people have that like programmed hive mind, like not hive mind, but just they see other people doing shit and they think it's cool because it's just a program. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because most people do it doesn't make it right? So, I don't know.
Is the only way, and the Bible is the only way. Who are you offending? Every nation. You can't go to the Middle East and say, well, listen, what y'all doing over here? Y'all doing with female deity gods over here. What's that rock you worshiping? Now that nation is against you. What's that rock in Mecca? Rock, that's holy. Nah, brother, that's a rock. So now they want to hate you because you tell them they marching around a rock. Listen, you paid $5,000 to fly to Mecca to march around a rock. You could have gave me £5. I could have bought a rock right in front of your door. You can march around that thing all day if you want. £5. So when the scriptures talk about the nations going to hate you and want to afflict you, of course they're going to want to afflict you. You understand? You're talking about their God now. Like, who's this little fat Asian dude y'all dealing with over here in the corner?
Then everybody thinks they're doing the right thing. Everybody thinks they're following God or whatever the hell, even though they're not. They're programmed. So when you tell them the truth, that's why the world will hate you, because you're telling them it's satanic and pagan. Pagan means you're following fallen angels and demons. That's what the Bible tells you. Be wary of uninvoluntary worshiping of angels. That's why Christ, the woman at the well with Christ, right? We worship. We know what we follow. We worship, right? Christ, the Most High. The Most High. We know what we follow and stuff. You don't know what you're following at all. They don't know what they're following, bro. They don't. They really don't. So, the nations.
Who's this guy? Like, he's Buddha. You can't say that to Buddha. Listen, he's a fat Asian dude. You understand? So they look at us like, how can you?
Essentially, in all these religions, they don't know what they're following. They don't know what they're worshiping. They don't. They really don't. The only people who know what they're following is the goddamn top 1% elites and shit. They know what they're following. But they won't tell the sheep. They won't tell the sheep though. You know.
How dare you mock our religion, our customs, our honor?
Because in all these religions, they think they're following God or whatever, right? They're not following God. They're following Satan and his fallen angels and demons. So that's why they get offended and all this. They hate you and shit. You just tell them the truth, you know. But they're too biased. Then a lot of these religions uses witchcraft to control you and all that, demon possession, but that's deep. But it's true though.
So they're gonna hate you, and when you tell them, listen, the Bible is the only way. You're gonna tell me to stop reading the Bible so I can light candles next to a fat Asian guy? So now what we do is we show the nonsense of this world. What sense does it make? Walking to the store the other day, and they got a bunch of little fat Asian guys they sell them. Right around the corner. Read.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended.
Then many shall be
Yep.
what?
and then shall many be offended.
So you're going to have offenses with people doing someone wrong or whatever, and because of that, they feel a certain type of way, or you stepping on their toes. So they're going to use this as a pretext to come against you. Now the brother asks about the signs of the coming.
That's the one thing I hate about Prism. I run out of space for some reason when I stream. It's weird. What the hell? I don't want to delete none. I'm gonna just freaking do this. It's gonna be like 2 minutes or something. I'm not trying to delete none.
He just needs to show him the Umbreon, then he's gonna get all the hoods. Hoods of his dreams. Here we go! Bro.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
The Bible's real history is true. A lot of examples shares about the Red Sea. Sodom and Gomorrah is still there, just like the Bible tells you.
Oh my god.
Sulfur Ball still flammable and shit. Foundation of the city that was there. Genesis 6:4 tells you about giant Nephilim, right? The sons of God, which are angels. Well, they became fallen angels. Came down, dealt with women, and made giants. There's literally swords that are like 20, 50 feet long sword. Like the handle of the sword's like your whole body, like 2 bodies. I mean, how is that even made, and who made that? You know what I'm saying? So then there's Nephilim skeletons too, these big ass skeletons, and a lot of these things were that's where you get all this like alien crap from, like one eye Cyclops or like a long skull. That's all Nephilim. You know what I'm saying? They were like crazy hybrids and shit. They were abominations and shit. And those Nephilim, they created dinosaurs and shit like that. By mixing birds and reptilians together. Make those dinosaurs. People don't know that either. Look at this. Look at this. This is what I mean by they promote fucking paganism and shit and sin. This is a witch in her house, and at the start you saw a Roman idol. When you see those little statues and shit with the faces and all that, the pictures, those are idols and graven images to gods, to fallen angels, which people call them aliens. You know what I'm saying? That's everywhere. Especially if you go to Rome or Vatican or wherever. It's everywhere. Then what you just saw there, that's a literal witch doing witchcraft and shit. People don't know that because they're ignorant. But that's what they show. But yeah, those people think it's art and shit, arts, memorials, whatever the hell. It's just sin. It's paganism, right? When you see all that stuff. So there's not supposed to be an idol or an image of nothing, anything. Anything in the earth, below the earth, I have no picture, no idols of anything. So When you see any type of statue of something, picture of something, you're not supposed to do that. You can take a picture of like yourself or your family or something. I'm talking about like, you know. I forgot what else I was gonna say. Okay, I can actually freaking. Am I gonna be able to update YouTube? Only 100 megabytes, huh? So YouTube needed to update. That's why I did that crap. Well, hopefully it updates. I still need to delete some shit? Really? Google TV. I'm gonna just delete that. Play music. What the fuck is Galaxy Wearables? Calculator. What the hell? I probably just got to freaking. Might just have to end the stream for now. We'll see. Let's see. It's only 45 megabytes. Not enough space. Let me just restart my phone. I don't know if I'm still gonna be streaming, but we'll see, I guess. Whatever. Whatever.